Here's every Pokemon fan game explained in 11 minutes. Pokemon Insurgence. Now, Pokemon Insurgence is set in the Tauran region, which is a world that's torn apart by these warring cults, and each of these cults worship legendary Pokemon. For example, you have the Sky Cult, which worships Rayquaza, or the Dark Cult, which worships Darkrai. Now, you as the player wake up suffering from amnesia, and you have to work your way from the starting town to the end of the game, working to stop these cults from achieving their destructive goals. The game feels a lot darker than the official series, tackling themes like death, sacrifice, and manipulation. Key features include Delta Pokemon, which are regional variants with altered typings and designs, such as a Dark/Ghost type Charmander. Now, since this game came out so long ago, people actually think the official Pokemon stole the idea of Alolan forms or regional forms from Pokemon Insurgence. It also has custom difficulty settings, extensive post-game, and side quests that add a lot of depth to the story. Overall, it's really well developed and considered the best Pokemon ROM hack/fan game. Pokemon Dark Rising. Pokemon Dark Rising tells the story of a trainer chosen by Arceus to stop Darugis, I'm not sure how you pronounce that, who is an ancient evil corrupting the core region. The player learns that their father has been kidnapped and embarks on a mission to save him while battling Darugis' influence, which warps trainers like Brock and Misty into pawns of its power. Legendary Pokemon, including Dark Lugia, are also corrupted, and the story balances personal stakes with larger themes of just battling an unstoppable force. However, this game has a lot of flaws. The game is reported by many players as having way too many rivals, plot points, and villains, leading to chaotic pacing and confusing character arcs. Dialogue-heavy cutscenes also add to the clutter, often involving long monologues that disrupt gameplay and game flow. You also frequently face back-to-back battles, including a notoriously early game string of 3 trainers, a rival battle, and a level 50 boss fight that you're supposed to lose. And a lot of these poorly placed battles and weird dialogue scenes kind of break the immersion. There's also a lot of glitches that remain unfixed, but despite its flaws, Pokemon Dark Rising is still loved by a lot of people. Pokemon Reborn. Pokemon Reborn is set in the Reborn region, which is the land that has suffered a lot of environmental collapse and a crime wave led by Team Meteor. The player arrives in Reborn City, which is a polluted metropolis, just as Team Meteor launches a terrorist attack on the Grand Hall. This sets the stage for your journey to rebuild the region while also uncovering Team Meteor's plans. The game features a really complex and long story that branches out based on your own decisions, so it's kind of like a choose your own story type of game. Major events such as, for example, the Reshiram and Zekrom route split determine how the game unfolds, with outcomes actually being tied to critical choices, such as whether to save certain characters or simply let them die in some cases. And these results can actually lead to some permanent consequences like character deaths and multiple endings. The gameplay, however, is quite challenging. There's a strict level cap tied to gym badges, competitive gym leaders, and field effects, which alter battle mechanics, as you know. It has all Pokemon up to Generation 7, and again, the main point of this game is simply the fact that it's a choose-your-own story type of game with multiple endings, and I believe there's a good ending and a bad ending. Pixelmon. Pixelmon got popular because it gave people something they didn't know what they wanted. Pokemon in Minecraft. It's basically an open-world Pokemon game with the bonus of just having Minecraft in it as well. Like, imagine just wandering across the mountains and finding a Charizard or a Lapras in the ocean. When it was released in the early 2010s, it was just amazing. It took the world by storm. The mod does more than throw Pokemon into Minecraft though. You can battle them, you can train them, craft Pokeballs from apricorns you grow yourself. The battle system feels pretty normal, considering it's not even a mainline Pokemon game. But the game is totally open-ended. In fact, mods have been created around this with storylines and gym leaders, and it feels like as the years pass, Pixelmon just keeps on getting better and better. And this might be a hot take, but Pixelmon was literally the original Legends Arceus. Pokemon Prism. Pokemon Prism is a fan-made ROM hack of Pokemon Crystal. It takes place in the Naljo region, I think that's how you say it, and it features 253 Pokemon from the first 4 generations, along with new types like Gas type, Sound type, and Fairy type, which at the time was new. There's different environments, there's urban settings, you can have mining, crafting, even controlling Pokemon directly in certain areas, and there's a lot of different mechanics which make it interesting. The game also offers trainer customization with 12 different avatars, It's not like a Pokemon game where you literally have to choose between a boy and a girl. Now, as for the plot follows Prism, the child of Lance, the Pokemon champion. After a minecart incident, Prism arrives in Naljo, a region just grappling with industrialization and corruption. With a lost Larvitar as your companion, you aim to collect 20 badges across multiple regions, including Raijon for Pokemon Brown, and multiple regions that are already in the game, while confronting this region's challenges. Now, with all these innovative features, Pokemon Prism has faced a bit of criticism as well. There's a lot of difficulty spike, limited item availability, and occasional glitches that affect the gameplay progression. But also, Nintendo has issued them a cease and desist letter, which made them basically stop development. However, a leak build surfaced online, allowing the community to actually continue enjoying and updating the game via just an open source method. And Pokemon Prism just generally stands out for its ambitious expansion of the Pokemon universe over multiple regions, and it gives you that familiar Gen 2 aesthetic. Pokemon Ash Gray. Pokemon Ash Gray, this one you've probably heard about. It's a ROM hack of Pokemon Fire Red that puts players into the role of Ash Ketchum, and you recreate his entire journey from the Pokemon anime's first season. You start in Pallet Town, where the game begins exactly like it did in the show, with Ash oversleeping and being left behind, with no choice but to start with a Pikachu. From there, the game follows the story's normal arc, including every single episode and literally most of the events from the show. In my opinion, one of the standout features of this game is literally the attention to detail they put into every single arc. For example, Ash's encounter with Misty plays out just like the anime. Misty follows you throughout the game and demands compensation for her bike, and fans of the show will also enjoy moments like, catching Caterpie, evolving it into Butterfree, and then having to release it in an emotional moment. You also have characters from the Pokemon anime featured, like the Squirtle Squad, You have Charmander's abandonment scene and Pidgeotto's capture, and all of these scenes are amazingly recreated in a literal video game. The game also includes banned episodes like The Legend of Dratini, where Ash faces Team Rocket in the Safari Zone to protect wild Pokemon. Now, you can basically recreate Ash's exact team from Kanto and just play through it as he did. However, despite its charm, Ash Gray isn't finished. This game currently ends midway through Ash's journey before the Pokemon League. It leaves you hanging because it isn't fully developed yet, but I believe development is still going on. Even so, Ash Gray remains an amazingly fun game. It's very nostalgic, and I highly recommend you play it. Pokemon Uranium. Uranium is a fan-made game set in the Tandor region, which introduced over 150 original Pokemon. That's the main feature of this game. You start your journey to collect 8 gym badges, compete in the national championship like usual. However, the key thing about this game is it dives into themes of nuclear disaster and its impact on both humans and Pokemon, offering again a slightly darker storyline compared to a lot of these fan games. One of the key features is Nuclear Type. This is a new type introduced in this game, so Pokemon who are exposed to radiation become Nuclear types, which are super effective against every other type of Pokemon, but they also have increased vulnerabilities. This was developed over 9 years using the RPG Maker XP, and it gained a massive following. Like, it had over 1.5 million downloads by 2016. However, due to legal pressures from Nintendo, they had to remove the official download link and cease development. However, the community remains active and they continue to share the game through unofficial channels. Pokemon Light Platinum. Pokemon Light Platinum is a ROM hack of Pokemon Ruby, which is set in 2 regions, the Zeri and the Lauren regions. The game starts with the protagonist having a dream about the battle between Arceus, Dialga, and Palkia in Giratina. Upon waking up, Professor Jasmine enlists the player to investigate the Alpha language, a mysterious script linked to their father's research, which becomes the key to unfolding events throughout the game. Now, the main villain organization is Team Steam. Yes, that rhymes. Team Steam's objective is to capture Dialga and Palkia, forcing them to summon Arceus and use its power to reshape the world in their image. Now, obviously you regularly fight with Team Steam, you infiltrate their bases, And a major highlight is when you finally get to Mount Draken, where Dialga and Palkia clash, only for Giratina to intervene, creating the chaos that forces Arceus to step in. It's really an interesting battle, and the post game is really good. So once you get to the Lauren region, it expands the story. You encounter almost every legendary Pokemon from Generation 1 to 5, and your journey ends with a Pokemon World Championship where you face all the iconic trainers. Pokemon Phoenix Rising. This game is set in the Hawthorne region, where players are tasked with reuniting oracles to stop this self-proclaimed king who is threatening to restore a monarchy. Now this game has RPG mechanics like skill trees, quests, and player choices, with decisions impacting the story and multiple endings. There's a lot of unique features like relic forums and new mega evolutions like Arcanine, and in the first kind of episode / arc, Beyond Home, it has 5 towns, several routes, 11 quests, and it blends the main quests and the side missions together, and this is sort of released in episodes. Now the main game is unfinished, but still, the fact that they've gone this far with it and it's this good makes it a major standout Pokemon fan game. Anyway, those were the major Pokemon fan games explained in 11 minutes. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe. Thank you, bye.